Okay, we're live, and welcome to Uncle Matt's D&D studio. I'm Matt Finch, and I'm here with Dave Donohoo, who is one of the owners of Ettin Games, which is almost here in Houston. It's up in a town called Humble, which is kind of one of the suburbs way up to the north. So he qualifies as being my friendly local game store, and he's on here. I'm going to talk to him about a lot of OSR stuff, because his store does cater heavily to that market, and we're also going to talk about an OSR day that they're putting together for this weekend. So, Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and hello to everyone.
And then if at any point Dave looks like he's talking and no noise is coming across, it's because I told him the trick about keeping your microphone muted so that it doesn't switch the picture over when you cough or clear your throat or something like that. And if he forgets to take it off mute, then I'll remind him. So, Dave, all right, talking about old school Renaissance materials, Ettin Games. I mean, obviously, you do X-Wing, Magic cards, board games. You have game tables there. But for everyone who's watching this, probably the big point of interest is that you've got a very substantial section in the store that's devoted to OSR stuff. And a lot of it are things that are not available through distributors, because you get them through Kickstarters and other sources on the internet direct from a lot of the creators in the OSR community. And so I want to focus on that a little bit. I guess the first question is, as a business proposition, how does that do for you guys?
Well, I'm not gonna say that it's a huge segment of our business, but we do have a really good RPG community overall, a strong RPG community, and we have a lot of people who play 5th edition D&D. We have a lot of people that play Pathfinder, and of course they've played previous editions, and of course with that our people who play RPGs, I think a lot of times like to try out other RPGs, and part of this too is with the OSR, sometimes it's nostalgia, and sometimes it's people who are younger and want to try to get a little piece of that history. So when we go with looking at Kickstarter products, we go directly to a lot of the small publishers when we can. Sometimes I know I'm at North Texas RPG Con every year, and that's where a lot of times I will stock up on a lot of products with some of the smaller publishers, and bring them back and show them off to the community. A lot of times customers are not necessarily aware of these things, but I bring them back and I'm like, hey, look, I found this new thing, or we got this Kickstarter, we brought it in, and especially with, we're on most of the Goodman Games Kickstarters, we've been on a lot of the Troll Lord Kickstarters, Frog God, etc., and we bring those items in and show them off to our customers, and a lot of times we're exposing them to things that they haven't seen before. So part of it's just bringing a variety to the store in general.
And so let me ask another question, because there, probably a bunch of people watching this are going to like the sound of a game store that's supporting, that sort of thing. Do you guys do any sort of mail order if people contact you, or are you pretty much purely people coming in and getting stuff from the store?
And we do sometimes, if people contact us via Facebook or email. We've had people, not just obviously RPGs, but we've had people, for instance, contact us from like Hawaii saying, hey, we can't get this Magic product out in Hawaii, and we ended up shipping them items because we're willing to work with them. So we're not on a large scale. We don't do mail orders, but if somebody were to contact us and say, hey, I'm really looking for this item, and you have it, we'll do it.
Okay, cool.
We're not going to turn it away.
Right. Well, I guess that's in some ways that was a stupid question that I asked.
Well, no. Honestly, I don't think that's stupid, because some people don't want to mess with it, and I mean, although it's not something that we are necessarily staffed to do on a large scale, if somebody takes the trouble to contact us and say, "Hey, we're looking for this. We want to, go that extra step and take care of that customer the best way we can."
Okay. Now, if someone is not in Humble, Texas, and that's a huge proportion of the world's population, and if they wanted to go direct to their own local game store, what advice would you give a customer who's interested in seeing OSR products at a game store in general? I mean, is there any familiarity with other people who run game stores with this kind of thing, or is it just luck of the draw? What are you thinking on that?
Well, as a game store owner, I would say one thing: if the game store is hesitant to bring that product in, I mean, for one thing, maybe the game store doesn't really know about it. That is possible, because they may be so. One thing I would think would be if you go to them, you might just start out and see if they'll make special orders and make a special order that you're willing to pay for in advance. And sometimes that will help the store owner overcome some hesitancy they might have, because a lot of times people will come in and they'll say, "Hey, I want to order this," or "I want this product in," or "If you get this product in, I'll buy it." But it's tough running a brick and mortar game store, a small business like that. So they're very hesitant a lot of times to invest that capital on vague promises.
Somebody who may not actually come back and pay the money, and then you're holding onto a product that you can't sell.
Money down shows you're serious, right? Money down shows you're serious, and that you're really interested in doing it. And then after a while, if you can get some other people in there, or you're ordering a lot of, or you get some other people in, then might convince them to start stocking some of this stuff. The other thing I would do is I highly suggest trying to run some of these games in the store. That's what we do to try to help get interest. Now we're having the OSR day, which we'll talk about, I think, here shortly. But like on a regular basis, we try to have a little variety of different RPGs run in the store, and that helps people try them out. And there's a lot of people that are focused in on Pathfinder or 5e who don't necessarily realize what else is out there, or they see it on the shelf, but they're like, "I don't know, that's maybe something I don't really know about." And if you give them an opportunity to test it, then suddenly you've got possibly a new convert. So,
all right, cool.
That's what I would advise for people trying to get it in their local store.
Now, I guess, I was going to ask what would other game stores do if they're interested in it, but I don't think this is probably going to be. That's probably easier answered. Let's move on to the OSR day that you guys are planning, and there was one thing I also forgot to mention in the intro, and so I will take a moment now. Also, you run a convention called MagCon. And that's you, not Ettin Games, I guess. But the MagCon is a charity event. You fund a school, I think, right?
Yes, it's okay. So my day job, my other hat is I'm a high school social studies teacher in New Caney ISD, and so for the school there, we do every year for the last decade, pretty much. We've gone and done a MagCon, which is a gaming convention where all the proceeds go to help. They go directly to the school as a fundraiser. So, and
incidentally, this is a really good convention. This is not just me talking to someone and saying, "And you do a convention." I've been to this one. It's got lots of gaming tables at it. It's a huge selection of board games as a library that people can bring out to play at the tables. It is a really, really awesome convention. It's not huge, but it's got the critical mass to really be, really feel like a small convention, not a bake sale with a couple of Monopoly games. So, this definitely give the endorsement to MagCon. And again, it's something where you can often see. Not so much old school RPGs, but I mean, there's actual wargaming going on there, historical wargaming, and a lot of the old vintage Avalon Hill games and things like that. So, if anyone's looking for a nostalgia fix, it's really there. In fact, it goes pre-RPG in a lot of ways. So, all right. So OSR Day at Ettin Games. What's the plan?
Oh, well, one last thing about MagCon. Okay. If anybody wants more information about that, it's magcon.org. And that's magcon.org. And the website has not been updated for the next event, but it will be the first full weekend in April. So that should be the 7th and 8th of April. We're just waiting for the final approval there. But check it out. We've been growing every year, about 280 people. I think we had 280 this past year. So we keep adding a little bit more every year. And it's a good variety. And it's inexpensive, too. That's a great thing. It's a really cheap con to attend. So good quality, good value, but
and highly recommended.
Okay,
really
on to OSR.
All right, OSR Day. Let's
OSR
go.
Day.
And once again, we're back on Ettin Games now,
yes.
Not MagCon.
Yes.
So Ettin, everybody knows how to spell Ettin.
We should have a MagCon hat and then a Ettin hat, and so we can.
Next time you're on, bring the hat.
Need to get something made. Different characters. So. With the OSR Day, we carry OSR products. We have a lot of people who are interested in OSR products. They purchase them. They run them periodically at the store. But honestly, I will have to say that I'm probably inspired by events like North Texas and other conventions that are focused on having a lot of old school games. And I just thought, well, we're kind of trying to have like a mini con and see what we can do to introduce more people. And also too, just to reinforce for the people that are interested in OSR in our community, to give them a little extra something. And so I think we've done a fairly good job. We're still trucks, but this time we've got somebody running some Dungeon Crawl Classics. I'm going to run some Swords and Wizardry Light. Swords and Wizardry Complete. This will be my first time running Swords and Wizardry Light. We got somebody else running Stars Without Numbers. And let's see, we had Cthulhu by Gaslight. So we have a little bit of a mix. Plus, I think we're going to have some people running some 5e that day. And I'm trying to talk one of my guys into running Metamorphosis Alpha. So I got somebody who,
and I'm going to be there too. I don't know if I'm going to run anything, but
that's true too. So I didn't necessarily. I try not to pressure you into actually running anything. I just want you there as a guest, but you're more than welcome to run something. And then of course Mark Nelson's going to be there, who I met at North Texas, and he lives in Houston also, and he was an artist for TSR, and he's also done some work for WotC, and he does his own work. So he's going to be out showcasing some of his stuff and signing some of his old, his autographing stuff for guests, and he's got new work stuff too. It's actually, so I'm trying to expand it a little bit other than just games and bring in some guests too. So we can, y'all are headliners.
I never know what to think when people say I'm a headliner. So, not to, I'm always sort of like, I'm the best you can do on that. But Houston's a little behind on the whole old school thing. And Dallas, unfortunately, really seems to be beating us on that one. So,
well, I know that I will tell you that there are people talking around. Right, it's unusual here in general that trying to, with the promotion of the old school, I know there seem to be a lot more people in DFW area who both contribute to the OSR as far as designers and authors and so forth and artists, but also to just the number of events and things like that go on there. And I would like to see more of that here in Houston. I mean, after all, we are. I think there are talks in the work overall. I think it's just a matter of some of the gaming conventions. So we have MagCon, which, believe it or not, is one of the larger gaming conventions in this Houston area. As far as just pure gaming conventions, a lot of there's also Alcon, which is probably pure gaming convention. I think there are people. I know there are people that are looking around out there to try to the lineup, and even I've seen some talk about possibly somebody doing a RPG only con. So I would imagine that if that were to come to fruition, as far as RPG only con in Houston, that I would think that there would be at least a segment of OSR games in that lineup.
I got grounded by my parents after Alcon.
Which one? Do you remember the number? It says Alcon 37 this year.
Yeah, no, it was a much lower number. I'm pretty sure it would have been in the single digits. But we won the, we were in the tournament and we won, but we had to. I mean, we didn't win the whole thing. We won. What we did was we won the first round to where we got to get into the next round, and as a result, we didn't get home until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And of course, nobody called their parents to let them know that. So, we got in, I got grounded. I think everyone ended up in trouble, and it was all Alcon's fault. Yeah.
Like what tournament was it? It was an AD&D tournament?
I assume so. Yeah, it was. It was actually a really cool adventure. The premise was that you were in Byzantium, in Constantinople, when it fell to the Turks, whenever that was. It must be around 1453. Okay, I was going to say 1490, so it's a little earlier than I thought. But it would. So you're in there, and the cleric is, he's like a legate from Rome, I think. But there are, everybody had a little thingy bob, and so you had a mission that you had to accomplish in Constantinople as the Turks are actually breaking into the city. And so that was sort of cool. Somebody did some really cool thinking on that one. But it got me grounded.
That sounds like something right up my alley. That's a history teacher. That sounds like something.
When you knew exactly when Constantinople fell, it's pretty clear that that's right up your alley. I mean, I was guessing at 1490. I think I was probably closer than most people would be able to nail the date of that. But
I want to say that's the same year that the 100 Years' War ended, too. I think it's like I just didn't remember that year was particularly. There were some big turning points in European history. That being one of them, but
yeah,
I digress.
So, but there won't be any actual history quizzes on OSR Day over at Ettin Games. I will be there. Dave will be there. There are other people there. God, I've forgotten the name of the TSR illustrator. You said it, and I didn't.
Mark Nelson.
Mark Nelson will be there. So if there's anybody in the Houston area wants to come along to that, absolutely. It is this coming weekend, and since people may be watching this video at any time. So Dave, give us the actual date, including the year of when it is that OSR Day is happening, how to get there, and all of that good information. Okay, so it's going to be November 18th, starting at 10 a.m., and that's going to be November 18th, 2017, in case somebody in the future is watching this. And like I said, 10 a.m. at Ettin Games. That is ETTINGAMES.com. And you can see a link there. There will also be, you can also find us on Facebook, where we have the event on Facebook, including the games that are already scheduled. And you can join us on meetup.com. We have many ways to get in touch with it. So, and that is up in Humble. It's not too far out. We're actually by Intercontinental Airport. We're right there. So it's not as far out as, we just have to be on the opposite side of Houston from Matt. So Yeah,
it is.
that's so.
It is a drive for him for sure.
For all intents and purposes, it is anyway.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Dave, let me go ahead and stop it here, and we will say whatever sort of D&D it is that you play, imagine the hell out of it.